Good morning, everyone. Welcome to When Pigs Fly. I am Patty and I'm here with Tracy and Renee. Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
All right. So, first, we want to welcome all of our new subscribers and our OGs. We love all of you. Thank you for being here. And please keep your comments and feedback coming because you're fueling us to give you more of what we feel compelled and guided to share with you. So, remember that if you landed here, many of you said, oh, I'm not sure how I got here. You drew this to you. So, we all draw things to us, and that is part of the cool part of ascension is we're drawing things to us, right? We're not going out and getting, we're not struggling. And so if you felt that you were supposed to be here, it's because you were. With that said, you only need to take what resonates with you. We're sharing our personal experiences with you, and you take what resonates with you and you throw the rest out. It might be one sentence that resonates, it might be 50%. So you get my drift with that. And today we want to carry on the conversation from the last episode where we were talking about false beliefs and words and the meaning that you give it. And Renee was guided, and I'm going to read this statement, and that's going to be our launch pad for today. So, and this statement was deactivate the emotional ties and current, meaning energy current, to all trauma. So, Renee, I'm going to hand it to you first so that you can kind of expand on this and then we'll roll from there. Follow the energy.
Okay, great. So what they're saying is like I had been really sick and was recognizing that, that's how I was when I was young. And they said, well, you're now cleansing and clearing it, and everybody is cleansing and clearing the energy fields of our our youth, in addition to and I think I've said this before on other things, we're now in this field of cleansing and clearing for the ancestors. And the ancestors, not just meaning our ancestors, like the ancestors for the world. Okay, for everyone around the world, and their actual world themselves, they're now saying the energetic field that people have created within Gaia. Gaia has pushed that field up a couple years ago and was sort of saying to everybody, here, take your shit back. We don't want it. We don't need it. Like, you got to now deal with it. We cleared what we could for you, and now it's time for you to deal with it. So now in this new energy that's here and that's moving in, it's really now about us owning our stuff, and we've talked about that in many episodes. And as you're owning that, you're actually cleansing and clearing all of the fields and the grids that you've had with the ancestors and everything else. And within that whole field and that whole existence, we have to deactivate whatever the heck we just said. Deactivate what she said. So it's that point, because the activation that's actually within our systems is for everything. And I think, Tracy, you and I talked about this, I think last week or something, that we have to start to deactivate the old programs, because the old programs no longer work. And Patty, we were talking about this, before we started here, that they're no longer working. That is catapulting us into a whole new field and a whole new existence. And not whether you like it or not, you're going. Like, this is it. Like, this is a whole field and a whole energetic shift within so many different places. And I'll have Tracy talk about it. I hope you don't mind, Tracy, because it was, they're showing those rings that you were talking about before we started. They say, okay, we're here, but we're all expanding here. And they're saying, and don't get fooled into thinking, like, we talk about the 5D and whatever, and they're saying many of us are beyond that. We're got our foot there in 5D, but we're moving into all these different dimensions. And I know for years I never really paid attention to the dimensions, because when I look at somebody's body, I can see so many things in so many different dimensions. Like, and they're like, well, what dimension am I? I'm like, I don't freaking know, because you're in all dimensions. Because if you think about it, we're everything, right? So we're in all of those. And so when we're talking, at least, when I'm talking about, okay, we're in 5D now, a majority of our pieces or parts are there, but we're still in all of these other things. And it's really being, they're showing this like big explosion. It's really being blown out to say, okay, here you go, people. All of this has to now be deactivated. And when you think that, you think that whole deactivation, they're saying that's what is going to transcend. And some of us, like me, may not have a really great time going through that deactivation. Like I was really sick for, days, which sucks. But now I'm coming out ahead and I'm going, okay, woohoo, thanks. Thanks for him, thanks everybody. And I'll have you guys describe that. Well, Tracy, let's throw it to you for the circles they're showing, the dimensional things or whatever the heck it is.
Concentric, yeah. Concentric
Yeah.
circles. Yeah.
Concentric circles. Yeah. So I've really been shown a lot of examples, which really make me think, what the heck's going on? And it's a lot to what we've spoken about, but to see it from a really broad, expansive perspective. And I was shown like a dartboard and all the circles, and that it's what Renee said, that we are very accustomed and programmed to only believing what we've been told and what we can see with our own eyes. So most people still have a very hard time believing in something that you can't, research on Google, or the experts have not confirmed, or, well, but I can't see that with my own eyes, so it must not be true, or I need verification of it. And we are so beyond that we all do have the ability and capacity to see beyond, and it's so expansive, of what we have been, I'm going to say, programmed to believe. And I was given listen, everything that you think is only that someone told you, it was a word that someone made up, backed by a definition that someone made up. So everything is a imaginary concept that's this goes back to the ancestors. Way back when, this is centuries of belief systems and programs that they're just a belief system and a program. So we are literally busting free of that. I was also shown, like, if we had no words, what would you know? Eradicate words, like they don't exist. We do not have language and we don't have words. Okay, now what do you know? That's it. That's something to really wrap your head around. Think of a baby, how babies are so just in joy and in the moment. And everything is right in the now. And it's just what their mind can, it's a really lot to wrap your head around. And then I was like, okay, think of that. Now dial it all the way back to the ancestors. All of these layers and levels of perceived knowledge and knowing and belief systems. And then my favorite thing is, I think I said this to you, Renee, I'm like, who is this insanely genius person? Google. I want to meet him, because if he knows everything, I would like to meet him. So if we're operating under the premise of, well, what expert? Well, where can you prove it? I want to meet Google, and I'd like to meet Alexa and Siri too, because clearly we all think that they know everything. Oh, okay. Now wrap your head around that. Who is Google and Siri and Alexa and all of these experts that we rely on for all of our information, all of our intelligence? So this is a big one of, and then I got the message the other morning, what are you going to do when all the screens go black? And I know exactly what that means. I've been shown it for months now. And I have, to a very large degree, wrapped my head around that and made peace with screens go black. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it is a good little project for me to start encompassing where we are, where we're going. Everything is changing. Everything is changing. And this is all we are, what Patty, you started with. And it's really, we think that we are wrapping our heads around it, but there's another layer and another circle and another one, because even I can get really out there and then I'm like, yeah, but it keeps going and going and going. Like, you'll never wrap your head around it. And I said, I'm just going to start every time I open my mouth. I didn't do it, but I should have, by saying, I don't know. Because as soon as I think I know it, I see something even bigger. So it's just like, I don't know. And I still don't know. And how cool is that? Because that's infinite. It's always infinite.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
a lot going on and super exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. We are multidimensional. We are multidimensional. Right now, our attention is on this, ascension from 3D to 5D, but we are in multiple dimensions at any given time. So to I wanted to tie back into this, how we deactivating ties, and I do want to talk about the ancestral energy too, because I got a download on this, and it was before we came on here, Renee was mentioning that she said that when she was younger, that she would get sick when she went to her grandma's. And that her guides, mentioned that her grandmother was there. Well, one of the downloads that I just got was that our ancestors are here, and they are here supporting us now because we're clearing that energy. So remember, you're clearing not only your own shit, and again, it's not your own ancestors too. This is a global, like all ancestors. So these are energies that are all being cleared right now. I know many of you are talking about solar plexus. Many of you are talking about digestive tracts. All of those have been active. And I did see quite a few comments about feet. So I haven't gotten a download about the feet yet. And maybe as I say that, maybe Renee will. But just know, don't start looking and analyzing yourself and judging yourself and going, okay, what am I not clearing? And I know, because I'm speaking from experience. I used to be like, oh no, I thought I was done. And then that frustration creates resistance. So now it's just, okay, know that it's happening for you. Know that it's happening for you and that you are upgrading. And just, it's like kind of blind faith, but the more blind faith you have, the easier it makes it for you to integrate the energy, because you're not resisting. Now, with regard to deactivating emotional ties and the energy current to trauma, what works for me is, and I write this in my journal every day, if there's anything that I feel any kind of resistance, or even something that presents itself that I don't have a solution to, first thing I do is I go to curiosity. Okay, help me see this another way. Ask your guides. But the other thing is, and this is for me, this has been a powerful statement. I say, what meaning do I want to give to this situation? Because I have the ability to change the meaning that my history files gave it. So if there's a situation in front of me and I don't have a solution, I just say, what meaning do I want to give this situation? So whatever belief or word I've tied to it, it's the word you give it, and then what emotion are you attaching to it? And that's what we're being asked to let go of. So it's almost like you're teaching yourself a brand new language that is based on a perception of love, of harmony, of joy. Pick your, state of being that you want to resonate with. And for me, that's been my experience. Renee, I see you got incoming.
So they were showing it, they're still showing it over here, which is interesting. Usually when they show me things over here is usually the past. This is usually the current, and then this is the future. So it's interesting they're bringing me here because they're saying the feet are so sacred. There's this huge sacred thing. And I kept questioning them because they're showing me over here and they're saying many people right now are opening up the portals to change and the portals to shift in their feet. So if you have achy feet, you're opening up these portals, and it's a good thing. It's a good, portal, like it, because they're showing this like almost like this funnel, like coming off from our foot, and we've got all these, they're showing like all the little well, they're calling them circular dimensions within the bottoms of the feet. And they show it like going down and opening up in the funnel, and then seeing like Gaia, and then connect into not only that, but like up into the planetary systems, into all that is. So they're saying if you're having aches and pains, they're saying, soak your feet in Epsom salt, because that will help open it up. Give them some little tender, loving care. Just sit in the grass with your feet, and that, and they're saying, or even on the cement, they're saying, just put your feet on earth. They're saying, and allow your system to have that thought, okay, I'm ready to open all fields of existence. And they're saying that your feet have always been so sacred. People that aren't having problems with them, they may be feeling an energy coming from the bottoms of the feet going up through their body, because the sacred oneness that is sitting within the circular, what they're referring to as the circular emotions of the energetic field of existence is coming up in and through us. And that's helping us cleanse and to clear all of the human emotions and the human tie-ins to everything that we've had and experienced within our lifetime. And, and they're saying all lifetimes. So, they're saying that is such an old thing. A lot of them are closed off, like within the ancestral grids, those portals and everything, because of everything that they had gone through. And they're saying how hot, and they're showing like this lava. And they're saying, how hot they had connected into the earth with. So they're saying, so, when you come into the now, allow yourself to always be open and just say, I'm ready for the next field. Because they're saying when you're not ready for that next field, which is, really this next shift and everything we're doing, when you're not ready for that, that's where we're going to be experiencing that, oh no, I got to hold on to this. So you're going to be experiencing that resistance, which is not going to be good to our physical form. And they're saying that, so the more you're open, however you want to say it, there's no right words, no wrong words, however you want to say that you're open and ready to receive, to accept, and to move forward. They're saying you will move forward much easier with much more ease and grace. And I got to tell you, I wish they said that to me last week when I was sick of the dog. That would have been really great. But today's the 31st, so like how great is that? Like we're in the end of all of this, right? Like this,
Yeah.
because tomorrow starts a whole new.
Yeah.
So they had always said the end of May we would be experiencing this. So this is a perfect time to them bring this through.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Trace, what do you got on that?
I feel by the end of this year and definitely by the end of next year, it is going to be a whole new world that we're living in a good way, in a really good way. I just find it interesting that so much is changing, and I find it ironic that we as humans kind of just adapt, even if it's for the bad. Actually, I'm going to restate that. We tend to adapt more for the bad than we do for the good, because however your perspective is, the world is by design being totally shaken up. There's a lot of things that are being brought forward, a lot of truth revealed, which is amazing. But I noticed how people around me, they'll just kind of adapt toward, well, yeah, this is how it is. Yeah, this is how what's going on. But they have resistance to like cool stuff that we talk about. Or I will say, in my opinion, I think what we talk about is cool. And everything you just said, Renee, yeah, like why? Of course we want all of that to happen. Of course we want new levels of being a human to become available and online and say, yes, please, and with grace and ease. But I find a lot of people, they love the I don't know, not security when you don't like change, the stability, the perceived stability of kind of where they're at. So I just am constantly find myself saying to people, how come you keep arguing to stay small? It's, there's a lot of people out there, let's just say, that probably aren't watching this podcast yet, that would listen to what we're saying going, what are these ladies saying? They have lost their minds.
Yeah.
And I would say, yes, we have lost our minds because we're coming from here now,
Yeah.
which is awesome, right?
Intentionally.
That's what I mean.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've intentionally lost our minds.
Lost our minds.
Welcome to the party. It's true.
Yeah.
It's very true. Great point, Tracy. And I want to reiterate this because I know we have a lot of new listeners, and this is that with these, when we say moving forward, our consciousness is being like rocketed forward. And Renee touched on this. I know that when you're new into this journey, you can start to compare yourself and go, okay, wait, I want some of what they're doing. Why am I not getting that? And I want to caution you against comparing it, and know this, that you get what you're ready to open up to. And here Renee just gave a great piece. And I know there were quite a few of you with foot issues. And I know some of you had grounding mats. So there you go. And we always talk about the Epsom salts, like we love them. So it's super important to have compassion for yourself and know that you're in the perfect place you're at. And if you're drawn to this information and gaining it, feel where you're at. And the more your main objective is to be out of resistance. Be out of resistance, have compassion, really love your body, really give your body a ton of love, and focus on integration. And what I'm talking about this is like this this is where you've just gotten shoved through. There could be some residual energy coming up this week, but we just got like compressed and pushed forward in such a big way this past week. So if you went through a lot and you're feeling a lot, it is going to stabilize, and you will have the higher consciousness is just a deeper awareness, another level of awareness. And so you only get to peek at what you're ready to peek at. It's never, because like Tracy just said, I mean, I have friends and family that have no idea I have this channel. Why? Because I understand where they're at in their journey. And I know that. And now, could I tell them to look at it? Yeah, they're going to go, she's lost her bananas. Great. And then I have other friends who are like, oh, you know what? I've been curious about this. And so I had a phrase that came into my head the other day, and it was existential curiosity. So if you have existential curiosity, not why does everything have to be freaking trauma, by the way, right? So it's existential curiosity. That is you having that curiosity, knowing there's more, not knowing. So just know that not knowing is where we are. We go in, we're in this, I say it all the time, but we're going in naked. And so it's a time for us to look at, what am I trying to hold on to? And it's usually something that you think gave you comfort. And Tracy just, nailed this point too of, if you ask somebody about three biggest negative happenings in their life, they can rattle it like this. And then if you say, what's your three high points? It's like cue the Jeopardy music. What? Where's my fucking high points? And now it's the opposite. It's okay, what high points? What do I want to create? And so if you're holding on to something out of just comfort or a false belief, understand that you won't be able to create the new state of being that you want until you let that go, until you let it go. And it's, again, it's that authenticity. And are you really being honest with yourself? And, there's a period of this feeling of, oh no, what am I going to lose? And flip that around and go, oh, wait, what's available to me? I've always wanted more. I've always wanted better. And just know that the better has to come from a clean slate. It has to come from a clean slate.
And be very cautious and very aware of what you're saying and thinking, because what we're saying, what we're thinking is magnifying like thousands upon thousands times. You will see that happen very, very quickly. So if you're in that feeling like, oh my God, my feet are aching, what's wrong? What's wrong? First of all, you're saying what's wrong. So your system has to create something to be wrong. Okay. And then they're aching. So of course they're going to continue to ache. So get out of that field of what you're saying, what you're thinking, and start to bring it, forward in a new way, in a new thing. And you're saying, if you do say, I deactivate the emotional ties and currents to all trauma, that will begin to deactivate. But if you are then, oh my God, I remembered this from young, I thought I cleared this, why didn't I? You're putting a hook into it. So continue to say that again, or something similar, what that would mean in your words to you to say, so that you do get out of that field. Because as Tracy and Patty have both said, we're losing this whole aspect of the words. The words are these false meanings, and it's really about going back into our feeling. What do you feel inside? Step outside of this external world and go back in, because that's where you're going to find the peace. That's where you're going to find the calm. That's where you're going to find the health, and all that stuff. And as sick as I was for 4 days, I will tell you, the first 2 days I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this, blah, blah. And then I started to reiterate like, I am whole, I am healthy, I am whole, and then I switch to we, meaning all of my bodies. We are whole, we are healthy. This is just an upgrade. So thank you so much for the upgrade. And then I would be like, oh my God, throw it up, whatever. And I'd be like, that's okay. That's okay. This is all the old purging. And I mean, I'll say, even, saying that, I was still, sick. So don't think that, okay, that's going to bypass everything, because it still goes into your belief system and what you're holding on to within your entire physical form. And a lot of us have a lot of junk to get rid of, especially those who have gone through traumas. And that if you're still holding on to some of that stuff, that's coming up and out. So give it a new meaning. Give it a new, exactly what Patty said earlier, give it a new meaning, and, move
Mhm.
forward from that aspect.
Yeah. And I can add to this, Renee, for someone that for any of you who suffered, for example, physical abuse as a child. Um, for me, the biggest piece that I was able, when I was really able to let go of it, was, you know what? I was raised by wounded children. They
Mm,
were wounded and didn't know.
I like that.
And that helped me to truly forgive. And I can, because now I know that and the work that I did on myself. So, I wanted to add that because it's, I know that is true for many people who could be listening here. And when you think of that, that they were not where we're at right now. We're awakening and we're seeing so much more clearly the truth of who we are, and that all of those energies kind of like piled on top of each other, and they were just playing out the energy field that they were taught, quite literally, and they didn't have access to this. Like, we are so lucky, but we chose to be here right now. We
Mhm.
chose to be here right now to experience this. And so it really is, it's an amazing thing. The big picture is a fully awakened planet. That's our big picture, and that's why we came here. And we each, our job is to, right, is to just, where am I at right now? Where am I at right now? What can I let go of? And that is, and I promise, I know that what can I let go of train feels like it stretches like for miles and miles and miles, but that train's getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And we're about to, on the other side is just fun. Let's face it. It's all good stuff. So Trace, what do you got?
I was just going to add in everything you both said, absolutely, and kind of flipped your script. I'm going to give this example because it's what came to mind. If you're going to go get plastic surgery on your face, think of what I just had a friend that did it, and it was a month long of like not fun, of a lot of pain and cuts, and but then she has this now, and I'm not necessarily advocating that, but we have a lot of circumstances and incidences where we accept the pain, the vomiting, and for when we're working out really hard. But I don't see many people that if we just, oh, it's just the flu. Well, what if not? What if you are purging all these things and also simultaneously bringing in this new body that self-regulates and self-rejuvenates? So to even push it further, and again, I always find it interesting of we accept pain and purging in a lot of areas. If it fits into, I'm just going to say the medical box with the, but if it's just our body naturally doing a purging, especially of deep trauma and deep belief systems, we never say like, or most people rarely say, oh my God, that was amazing because I'm coming out of this
Yeah,
way more in my superhuman.
yeah,
So not only like take it that next step of, yeah, this is awesome. And it's so
yeah,
funny. My right foot has been hurting. Like I up at night rubbing it, and like, and I will come up with 10 amazingly crazy ways of why it hurts. And they're all amazingly crazy and awesome. Yeah, bring it,
yeah,
So to add the flavor of fun and go even more in the opposite or in the direction of we are insanely amazing human
yeah,
beings
yeah,
and becoming even more.
yeah. And thank your body for the freaking magic show it's putting on, because it's putting on a magic show. And, and again, say, oh, these sensations I'm having. I think, because the language, like, if some of us can say the word pain and not have that negative connotation, but it takes a lot of work to get there. But just say, oh, these sensations are upgrades. Okay, thank you. Let's get through this as quickly as possible. So, with that said, wow, 30 minutes went by quickly on this. Ladies, thank you again. And again, please like and subscribe and share this with whom you deem appropriate, because we know it's not for everyone right now. So, I will see you next episode.